what Joey did last night? Can I kind of start getting him moving in the right direction?
But Joey's been practicing his butt off. He's been grading out really well. Joey's Joey, but I do think he's making some really big progress. I thought last night the job he did defensively and rebounding kind of gets overlooked by some people, but he hit some shots that I expect from him. I told you sooner or later we're going to get all our shooters shooting, and I still believe that. But I thought Joey's overall game, Malik's overall game, and Gabe's overall game was really impressive about last night.
You had a lot of people last night too who were maybe Minnesota didn't know who was going to score, so it made it a little tougher to guard. But with Tyson's performance, what were you impressed when it came to Tyson's performance to have a game like that in his first Big Ten game?
Well, Minnesota is kind of like me. I'm not sure who's going to score sometimes, but we are finding a way to get through things. But Tyson's starting to run the team now. He's starting to get a feel for his ability to shoot it. That was all on him. I mean, I did bring him in and tell him, you got to look for your shot more. He wasn't doing that. But give the kid credit. He was trying to fit in and do the things he's got to do. He's very good defensively, very solid defensively. So now that he's running our team, we'd like him to hold on to that ball once in a while, tell people what to do, get on people a little bit more when they're not doing their job. These are all part of the process that I think as he develops, it's going to take us maybe up another notch.
When you look at the last two games, Tom, big leads, and then things get a little dicey in two different sort of ways at that point. Is that just part of a team that's still got some new pieces, trying to learn how to win together, you think? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's, I keep using the word process, but I'd like to speed the process up too. I mean, last night's, I thought it was a little lack of focus more than skill. Other times I think it's different. But last night, dribbling the ball up our foot in the middle lane with our best ball handler, one of our better players, getting it picked. Those are all pick sixes, as they say in football. And, we take the ball out of bounds after they hit a three, and we inbound it to them, they get a dunk, That makes the place live, and it was a pretty damn good crowd. So that part is still disappointing, but what was encouraging, better from the three-point line. Better defensively, we were great. I mean, we don't give up those late ones again. We hold them into the low 30s and into the 20s. That was great. Rebounding was better. That was great. And to get the consistency out of Gabe has been really special. And Malik now is starting to get a little more consistent. Joey does. It's going to make us that much better. And I think the play of the night, which we tell our players, was Jaden's. He had the big block on one end, and he had the little block with his finger on the other end. But those are important plays that determine a lot of different things. Winning the biggest.
Go ahead, Steven.
The broadcast team said that you see a lot of 2015 in this team, or at least maybe some.
Yeah, I see some in it. Yeah, they were trying to tell me which team, and I'm trying to pick one, and they all run together for me. But I do think that, going into that year, I'm not sure we had a superstar, and things all kind of came together. Guys like a Travis Trice has a phenomenal senior year. Gabe Brown is starting to inch towards that, and having a more consistent, better feeding the post. Got back to rebounding the ball. We all know he can shoot it. So I think it has some similarities to that.
Because of all the different teams that you have faced, obviously you liked your strength of schedule that you have, but how did you think that it really prepared you for last night in Minnesota? Did you see it kind of play out a little bit more?
I did. I think we've played different teams. We've played teams that can shoot it from long. We've played teams that pound it inside. We've played teams that, play different defenses, press us. I think we're ready for everything. And as crazy as it sounds, going to Butler, the way it was down there, kids lined up around the football field, all the things we went through, that was a pretty good crowd. Minnesota basketball hasn't been that way, and I think they did a nice job. And the place got loud a couple times, especially when they came back. So I do think it prepared us for the night, to be honest with you.
Last night, you played Joey a little bit at the 5 with Malik. What do you see from that lineup, and what does that kind of do to the offense?
Well, I think Julius has been very solid. I think Markey has been kind of, a little bit up and down. Like we started the game, we wanted to go inside a lot, and couldn't find that position. And so, I'm going to do what I got to do to win games. And DJ actually did it, and he said, I'm going to play Joey at the 5 and the 4 because they had the kind of team we could do that with, number one. But Joey proved to be a very good rebounder in there and guards very well. We had him on their best shooter. We had him on different people. That's why I think Joey made some progress last night. So will you see that again? I'm sure. But you could see, we played AJ at the 4 a little bit last night at times too, when we were trying to switch 5 like we did at the end of the game.
What's Penn had about Penn State?
I think Micah has done a great job. He's a new coach in the league, but he was at Purdue as an assistant. He was, of course, with the Celtics. So he worked with two great coaches, if you ask me, and Brad Stevens and of course, Matt at Purdue. And so he runs a lot of good stuff. We're concerned because there's a lot of different coverages. So maybe, like you said, Audrey, we're going to be in a situation now where it's another kind of new team. I'm hoping pretty soon we run out of new offenses. But this one's a little different, and people don't realize they've got a lot of players back. Lundy's back, Dredd is back, Hera is back, and he's playing really well. And then Sessoms so that's 4 guys that have been in there. Now they sprinkled in some transfers, but 4 guys that have been there. I think they got 5 seniors, a junior and a sophomore, 6 seniors, a junior and a sophomore. So we're running into teams right now that are, old. A good old, though, not a bad old.
Pickett is one of those transfers, and so what challenges does he present when you look at him?
Can shoot the ball, but he's a very great bodied basketball player. 6'4", 205 pounds, strong. He can get you on his hip, and he's strong enough to keep you off, and that's a problem, especially if he gets a small guard, one of our smaller guards on him. But he can score from a lot of different places. He's got a great mid-range game and a good three-point shooting game. But I think it's his penetration and his muscle moves that he does. And yet Minnesota had a couple guys like that. That's the other thing you're able to do, especially with our young perimeters. You're able to say, he plays like so-and-so. Because when you play good people, he plays like Willis. He plays like this guy. I think that's helped us a little bit too.
That chased out play from Jaden. What does that tell you about where he's at in his development as a young player?
What I love about Jaden, outside of his development, is he's got a motor. It's hard to find as many people with motors anymore. A lot of these motors are, Beetle Volkswagens instead of Ferraris, And Jaden's like that when he practices. He's like that when he comes in. He's like that. I get a call from my academic guy. Girl, he's over there bright and early, 3 hours of that because he was disappointed in the three-point grade. Those kind of things, he does it. He walks the talk off the court and on the court. And that's why before he's done, he's going to be really good in my humble opinion.
I know that you were too before the season started pretty high on all your freshmen that were coming in, but with the the numbers that they've been playing and what they've been adding to your team, are you just as, impressed with their IQ, their basketball IQ now that they're here and getting immersed in these games? I am. Max picks up things the best so far, but Jaden is right behind him, and Pierre, Pierre's going to play. He's going to play. It's been a little harder because, he got here a month later because the school got out a month later. He's had to pick up some things that maybe he didn't realize. All of them would tell you college is a lot harder. For some, the game will slow down faster than for others. And for some, the game is too fast, meaning the people they got to guard. So I've been pleased with all of them. The 2 guys that are playing a lot,
you know, to get out of them what we're getting out of them defensively, because that's usually what takes time. Jaden is an incredible rebounder, and Max has been a lockdown guy. So I'm impressed with him until we lose.
Wear your Santa hat on Saturday, because that's the theme for the Izzo. They're supposed to dress up like Christmas for the Big Ten.
Jeez, you know more than I do. So if Santa hat, probably I'll leave mine at home. I'll wear it to the radio show for my Christmas.
Not to get too far ahead, but you got 10 days, I think, after this one, between your next one, and you're kind of looking forward to it.
I am, especially the way I think everybody feels today. You know, that's a long grind. I mean, we've been in a grind here. If you look at our whole schedule, it's been, you know, we've been on the road a lot. Been in the Bahamas, been in New York, been in Butler, been in Minnesota. You know, all that in what, 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks, and so they need a little time off. And when I say that, you all went to college probably. You know, finals is not time off, but it's time off for them, where we can alternate some things. Then it'll give us some practice time where we've really gotten better. I think we have such a good sample size of who we've played, how good our schedule's been, that it's going to make it easier for us to put that together for Oakland and then High Point and then back to the Big Ten.
I assume that you were looking to have some more time off. Again, not looking too far ahead, but that's a different way that you've scheduled in the past terms of those days off. I can remember a lot of times when you were begging for some more time off in December and maybe it overscheduled. I mean,
well, you know what? Not being able to schedule during finals, I mean, that was one thing. But then by playing these 2 Big Ten games early and us being locked into this year the Gavitt games, the 3 down in what's called the Tournament of Champions and the Big Ten Challenge, and all those were before. So, you know, just the Gavitt games alone, that might have been one more game, maybe Saturday and then Wednesday, you know, but we had to cram all those in, which made it a little different than normal.
Anything else, guys? Awesome.
Good.
Good.